Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to discuss the manga that I have recently finished and the manga that I am currently reading. We're going to start with the big accomplishment is that I did finish the soccer manga series that I was reading. This is the last third of the series that I read in the month of September. So I read this series over the span of 2 months, I believe, I think, 2.5 months. It is a 33 volume soccer manga series, or at least it was a 33 volume manga series, and I'm going to get into that because I have a lot to say about that. But basically, this is a series that just, it follows basically, well, 3 young boys, although we do have our main character, Toshi, but it definitely follows 3 boys because it follows him and his 2 friends. I'm trying to find a cover with him on it, but I can't find it. But yeah, it just follows these 3 boys and their journey in the soccer world. Basically, they were on the same middle school team. They formed this incredible trio, and then now they're in high school and they're basically getting back together under the tutelage of this one really amazing player on the high school team, who was basically the whole reason they went to that high school to begin with. And under his new leadership, they're aiming for the All Japan Championship. And when I was reading this, so the last time I filmed this manga video, I had read the first 12 volumes, and I was absolutely loving this series. It was just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Really was having fun with it, because the thing is, like, it's a soccer manga series, so you're gonna have a lot of soccer. That's just the nature of this genre. But the thing that I really loved about Shoot is that it didn't forget that it had 3 male high school protagonists, and so it had so much humor, where it had these, these 3 high school boys going through situations that 3 high school boys should be going through. So just, trying to take a peek at girls, and talking about girls, and being slightly silly and doing things they really shouldn't be doing, and drinking alcohol underage, and the situation that can get them into. And I was really enjoying it because the author just created these hilarious, absolutely hilarious moments that I actually cracked up out loud. I was snickering on the train as I was reading this manga. That does settle a little bit as you go into the second third and the final third of the series. But I mean, but the humor does stay without. But that first third, I was dying over. I really thought this was going to be one of my favorite new series, and it's still a series that I really enjoyed. But the ending killed me a little bit, I have to be honest. So the first third really goes into exploring these characters, really giving life to them, creating all these humorous situations. Then the second third, we enter the first high school tournament, the first major high school tournament. And in the final third, we have the conclusion to the high school tournament. And then we have a little bit at the very end where, they're now on the Japanese national youth team, and they're having to represent the Japanese national youth team in Germany. And I have to say, I wish this series ended after the high school tournament. I think it would have ended really well at that moment. I think it would have been an immaculate series if it ended then, but it didn't, and it went a little bit further. And the thing is, like, it went further in only about 3 volumes. So out of 33 volumes, the last 3 volumes of the series, all of a sudden, the author introduces us to basically an entirely new plot. So yeah, I mean, in other soccer series I've read, it's it is normal for the characters to go to the national team and represent the national team, but usually there's enough to go with that. But here we're only given 3 volumes, and it just felt very forced, and it felt very rushed, and I just didn't really like it. And especially because they created this this animosity with Germany. And to be honest, all the white characters, they all looked the same to me, so I got really confused as, like, who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. Like, to be honest, I got really confused. Like, all the white boys, all the German boys looked exactly the same when I was reading this. But yeah, it felt really, really forced, and it wasn't, it was a little bit unnecessary. And then the last volume killed me, because the last volume they're playing this really big game against this one German team that had all these like problematic issues. And also that's another bit where like the issues became so unrealistic and so ridiculous. I was like, you kind of lost me. Like, I'm like, soccer manga it's not supposed to be realistic, or I mean, it's very rare that like it's super realistic, the soccer games. And I have to like even say, the soccer, the depiction of the soccer in this series is not really good. The flow of the plays, the flow of the games, as someone who knows soccer, who's been playing soccer all her life, compared to other artists, the flow of the games in this series are not very good. The soccer portion is actually the weakest part of this manga series, I would say. But you know, you deal with it and you kind of accept it. But at the end, it just got so ridiculous. I was just like you weren't ridiculous at the beginning, so it doesn't make sense for you to be ridiculous at the end. If the soccer had been ridiculous at the beginning, for example, the series, you know, Night in the Area, Eria no Kishi, where the character is like doing this like Fai trick, and like you see like the evolution of his Fai trick, like his feint basically. Like, that's ridiculous, but at least it was ridiculous from the beginning, and you see the evolution of the ridiculousness as it goes on. So you accept it. This was trying to be realistic more at the beginning, but then it got ridiculous as you go on. And that's just problematic. And I have to say, like, it's really funny because, like, reading soccer manga in Japan makes you realize and makes you understand why Japan is such a weak country at soccer. Now, hear me out. So, for example, recently in Japan, PSG, the major French team PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, came to Japan to do some friendly matches. With the first game they did was with the J-League winner, Kawasaki Frontale, Kawasaki Frontale, and like Kawasaki has won like 5 out of the last 7 or something years, so they've won like they've won their league like 5 times out of like the last 7 years. Like, they are on a rush. They are the top team, very hard to beat. And they played this friendly against PSG, and they were just killed, because you know, you're playing against, you know, Mbappe, you're playing against Neymar, you're playing all these big names in Japan, and just cannot compete with that. And they just got absolutely massacred. And it's funny because you can see that in the soccer manga, where in these soccer manga, that like every single time our team, our home team wins, because from like really, really long crosses, so like really long balls up front, or like they do a cross that goes against the field, and then this person shoots from the corner, like shoots from the side, the ball goes in the opposite corner of the goal, and it's like this amazing thing. But the time whenever they struggle is always when they're getting like attacked in the middle, which is basically what PSG did. So like in the PSG Kawasaki game, Kawasaki was sending all these long balls out, and then they were just crossing from, like, trying to attack from the sides, and then merging in front of the goal to score. And PSG just attacked down the middle the entire time, and they just absolutely devastated Kawasaki. Like the difference in level was just ridiculous. But you can see the lack of imagination on the field represented, and the lack of imagination on the soccer pitches in these fictional soccer manga. Anyway, that's just to say a little bit of a thing. But in any case, I just think that's really funny. But the thing is, like, yeah, you're fighting against Germany, and the games just got a little bit too ridiculous for me. And then, you know, there's this game, and it's going on up until this. This is the very last volume. So I'm like, well, how are you going to conclude this series in this little bit of like what's left? It's not. It doesn't get concluded. What happens is on the very, very last page, you know, very last page, they're like, oh, you know, we'll see you at the World Cup stage, you know, to hold up the trophy, blah, 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 you know, standard. And then it says, shoot will continue in this new series. So shoot to Aoki Meguri Ai ni tsuzuku. So the original Shoot series ends, And now there's a 7 volume little continuation of this series. And like, even if I were to read that, there's yet another continuation of the Shu series. So I don't know if the main plot, which is basically the relationship, the triangle relationship, I don't even know if it's going to conclude in that section either. So I was very upset because like, there's no conclusion. I just read 33 volumes and there's no conclusion. I'm being forced to buy more, and I refuse to buy it because I don't care. I want it to be concluded. So anyway, that's sort of like the big thing with this series. And then I have to say, do I have it in front of me? I might have to go pick it out. I'm gonna go pick it out. I'll be right back. I'm back because I have to say, I wanted to nominate this volume for the worst cover on a manga I've ever seen. I have to point it out. I hate this cover. This realistic painting of his body with the really bad anime manga face. Like, it's just, this is awful. I hate this cover so bad. I really hate this cover. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. In any case, I had to present that to you. Those are my feelings on the volume of Shoot. I'm so glad I read it. I'm always happy to read a Sangha manga, but I refuse to read more, basically. I refuse. I'm done. I mean, maybe I'll read it someday, but for now, I'm done. So next, I wanted to introduce, this will go by really quickly. I read volume 10 of Goku Shifuro, The Way of the House Husband. This is the very latest released in Japan. Super fun. You know, this is the series about a former Yakuza member who retired and is now just a house husband, and it's just his shenanigans as he does what he does. And it's amazing. And volume 10 was strong. 9 and 8 for me were a little weak. I didn't laugh as much, but 10 came back, and I really had fun with this. I mean, look at this art. Like, I just love the art. And you can just see, like, this is him jogging with, like, the local ladies, the local, you know, little housewife ladies, his little housewife community. And it's absolutely hilarious. This series is amazing. Love it. Cannot recommend it enough. So now I wanted to talk about 2 major things. I'm going to save one for last because it's absolutely devastating. I'm going to go with the happy one first. But everyone needs to read this. It's Nipikime no Kingyo by Pampanya. And the thing is, like, it's not that just that everyone needs to read this, it's that everyone needs to read Pampanya, this artist or whatnot. Because it's absolutely darling, this series. This series, it's not a series. Every volume is individual, because basically what it is it'll be better if I explain this now, it's basically like short stories about everyday life in a single volume. And so what it is you have your main character, who's this little girl, and you can see this is basically the art style, but you have this main girl, and the whole story is about her going through like little situations, you know, little everyday situations that a young child will go through, and the questions that a young child will have, and just creating humor and fantasy and delight. And it's super charming. It's amazing. And so what's amazing about the artwork too is that you have these incredibly detailed backgrounds, but she is almost basically just drawn in pencil. So again, amazing backgrounds with her like drawn in pencil. And everybody else, other than her friend, who's also human, but everybody else in these books that she interacts, particularly adults, have these very like amphibian faces. So they almost they're not exactly frogs, but they have like, just these amphibious faces. They don't have human faces, to really create this disconnect between the adult world and child's world. And so you just have these gorgeous illustrations that really help you understand the fantasy behind a child's imagination in a very real world. And I want to show you more pages, but I recently learned that showing pages is a no-go in Japan, so I have to stop doing that. but I really wish I could show you pages, because there's, for example, there's one story, it's a single page story, just a single page, but basically she's in front of a storefront, and she sees a bunch of birds in a box, and the box says take one for free, and she's looking at it and she's like, can I really take a bird for free? And she's like hesitating, and then all of a sudden all the birds fly away, and then it turns out it wasn't it says take one for free, but the birds like covered up the free part, so like it said take one, but it actually, the birds, what the birds covered up was like take one brochure for free, and it turned out the birds were just sitting in a box of like, you know, pamphlets. So it's just super sweet, and like she creates her own town in this story. She plays hide and go seek, but before she plays hide and go seek with her friends, she attends a lecture on the best way to win at hide and go seek. So yeah, absolutely charming. This needs to be translated right away, and it needs to be marketed not as a manga, but it needs to be marketed as just a standard graphic novel, because this transcends fans of manga and fans of anime. Anybody can read this, adults, children, doesn't matter what country you're in, you will understand the whimsy and the charm of this series. Absolutely love this. Everyone needs to read this. So the volume I have is Nippiki no Kingyo, which just means the second goldfish. So it's basically a story that she's taking care of the class goldfish. It escapes, she tries to find it, and basically someone suggests that maybe you should just buy a second one. So that's just one of the stories in this volume. So I will definitely be picking up more volumes by this artist, because it's so charming and it's just absolutely so lovely. Everyone needs to read this. So yeah, highly recommended. You will definitely see this again on my channel as I read more volumes. So the last thing I wanted to introduce is very heavy. It's incredibly dark, so it's not going to be for everyone. Definitely consider whether or not you should read this, because I'm going to tell you right now, it involves, in the very first 20 pages, there's a depiction of a child that's committed suicide. So it's a very dark series. You definitely need to take into consideration whether you can read this. But it is absolutely amazing. It is a huge underground hit in Japan. And what series is that? It's Takopi no Genzai. So Takopi no Genzai means Takopi's original sin. So you can see, like, from the cover, this series, it's a duology, and you can see there's a lot of like what's the word, like a lot of like contradiction within this series. So you can see it from the very beginning. Like, look at the picture, the colors used. The colors used on these manga is very much the type of colors you use on very happy, very like fantasy cute manga. But then you have these girls who are crying, which is very dark and very grim. And then here, Takopi is like this very fun character. He's an octopus. He's very cute. He's very like sweet. He's very innocent. Basically, he's an alien who has come from the planet of Happy and is here on Earth to spread the idea of happiness to the world. So you have this character named Takopi, which just means like, you know, octopus, little octopus, the octopus. So you have the feeling of the word Takopi, octopus, like it feels very cute on your in your mouth, on your lips. But it's Takopi's Genzai, which is original sin, which is a very heavy word. And so again, you have all these like incredibly contradictory elements within this manga. And so what is it about? Basically, Takopi has come to Earth to spread happiness, because he's from the planet Happy, and he meets our main character, and she's crying, and he decides that he's gonna help her become happy. And so he sticks with her, and he uses all of his cute, like, you know, magical schoolgirl, like school girl shoujo type like trinkets. Like he has a camera that, like, once you take a picture you can go back in the past and go back and relive that moment. He has a ribbon that if you connect the ribbon with your finger, another person's finger, it'll create a beautiful friendship between the two of you. He has like just these cute he has like little wings that'll help you fly. He has a palette that allows you to transform, and he has a ball pen that has the cute voice of a little rabbit come out of it. Like he has like these cute little elements, and he's a cuteness himself, and he speaks like da 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 pee, like just super cute. But you have all these elements that you would have in this like magical schoolgirl shoujo manga, and like the darkest element of like child abuse, child neglect, bullyism. Like it's absolutely terrifying. This whole series is absolutely terrifying, and it just gets darker and darker and grim as Takopi has to figure out how to deal with this situation, because he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand why this girl can't just be happy. He doesn't understand why this other girl is bullying this girl. He doesn't understand it, and he's trying to fix it, but it doesn't seem to be working. So it's this caught me off guard. It is absolutely a thrilling duology. My friend, who would never pick this up, he read it and he was like, "This is amazing. This is so good." This has been creating a lot of discussion in the like, not, I mean, I said underground recently, but basically I meant like non main manga giants, like if a manga from Shonen Jump is being talked about a lot, that seems obvious because it's a major publication. But this is, I mean, Shueisha, this is from Shueisha. Shueisha is a major publication, but this is like just like, and it is Jump Comics, and like what I mean is just like, it's just a duology. It's not this like major like One Piece 100 volume series. It's not like, again, magical schoolboys or magical schoolgirls or like fantasy or anything like that. No, like this deals with incredibly dark topics, but because it blends these styles, and the art inside is wow, amazing. Like you see, like this is the back of both volumes, and this is what you expect, and even more detailed than this. Like the art is absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is making the waves in Japan right now. A lot of people are talking about this, and for good reason, because this just absolutely, again, took me by surprise, and it's really amazing. Like it's definitely a must read, but it is dark, and so you definitely need to consider if it's something you can read. There we go. So anyway, that's everything I read. Oh, I'll mention briefly the series I've decided to read now that I'm done with all of these. I have decided to finally start this series, Under Ninja, by Hanazawa Kengo. He is the author of the very famous zombie manga I Am a Hero. Before that, he wrote Boys on the Run, which became a movie, which is really weird. I didn't really like it that much, but I loved I Am a Hero, and this is his series Under Ninja, which, obviously is about ninjas. I've only read 1.5 volumes so far. It's definitely complicated. Right now, currently, it's fairly complicated series. I definitely wonder where it's going. But I definitely trust this mangaka. I definitely like his work, so I'll be interested to see what this is. This is also a rare occasion where the series is ongoing. I own the 8 volumes that are out. I don't know when the 9th volume will come out, but yeah, this is a rare, usually I read series that I've already finished. So this is a rare occasion where I'm reading a series that's ongoing. But yeah, I just thought, this feels like the time to start this. And I do anticipate reading the first 8 volumes by the end of the year. So yeah, this is where I am going with my manga for right now. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning about all these new series. I definitely think I need to make more of these manga videos, I'm thinking, because I actually could have said so much more about this series, but I definitely felt kind of limited by the time, not wanting to pass a ridiculous threshold of like 30 minutes. So we'll see how I feel in future videos. Definitely let me know if you'd rather me focus on certain series, like in their own videos and things like that. Just let me know, because I can definitely change. I'm willing to change the way I deal with my manga content. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!